Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. It is the CNSL Season 6 round of 32 final group. That's Group A. Yeah, this one just got put at the back. Sometimes that happens. You sign the groups, figure out the schedules, and oops, Group A should have been Group H, but whatever. We are having 4 players in a little bit of a toss-up group. I really don't know how this one is going to go. So first off, up here, this is I don't know what the hell this ID is he's using. This is Skey. I really don't know much about him. He's a pretty good Terran player. I believe he was actually a practice partner on a Kespa team a while back. You know, well, obviously all of that was a while back. His opponent here is going to be DuGu, who is one of the best Chinese Zerg players. Kind of aggressive in general. The one BSL that Mihu didn't dominate, it's because DuGu knocked him out. But it was mostly like aggressive plays. So I don't know if that's going to work against Korean Terrans. I'm a little bit nervous for DuGu because of that. The other 2 players in the group are ArtUser. He's pretty well known. He was on Samsung Con as a pro gamer many, many years ago. He's been quite active for the last several years as well, always in tournaments like this, but not quite ASL level. Still a very strong Zerg. And then the last player is IcaruS. IcaruS is a pretty strong Terran player overall, but again, he's like one of these guys. He's not quite ASL level. He's a good player. Don't get me wrong, right? Not being ASL level is not a big deal because it's like, okay, well, the top one, maybe there's what 30 to 40 ASL level players, and there's like 100 players that are like basically pro level right below that can't quite make it. But yeah, IcaruS would be kind of like one of those. He's a strong Terran, but maybe a step below the likes of Skey and Scan and people like that are having a hard time getting into ASL but can do it. Okay, anyways, so this first Terran versus Zerg that we're seeing, I don't know anything about Skey's style. Barely heard of him, as I mentioned before, right? Like, I don't really have a lot to say about this guy, so excited to learn about him. See exactly what his skills look like. DuGu, I do expect to play like somewhat aggressive in this series. It's kind of a funny looking spawning pool placement, isn't it? I feel like you never see it. It almost looks like a Terran depot. Anyways, I mean, a lot of times this type of thing is just not impactful at all. And people get their own style for where they like to place stuff. So, Zergling's popping out, going to go ahead and try to chase down that SCV. It's just a single barracks expansion. He is starting more Marines, so maybe a 3 depot opener here from our Korean Terran. Yeah, look at that, the 4th Marine and everything. And he actually starts the 2nd racks. That's actually kind of interesting, huh? It's not like a big thing, you know. I'm a little bit of a stickler for learning different build orders and stuff. But he's making a 5th Marine. Huh. And going into the gas now. All right, all right. You know, if you're doing like a 2 racks Academy rush, I guess the reason why I'm mentioning this, right? If you buy this many Marines early on, first off, you're going to get supply blocked. Like, yeah, like you're I mean, we're waiting for the command center to finish, but like you're not going to be able to continually produce, so it also can sometimes put the timing back on the Academy a little bit. Anyways, over at DuGu's base, Spire is coming up. Everything looks very, very standard for him. SCV coming back for another scout. A couple Zerglings poking up towards this base as well. And yeah, with the command center done, looks like he'll just continue to macro up a little bit. A couple Speedlings going to get into the main base. Ooh, that's highly annoying. Are we going to have more Speedlings made? No, it doesn't look like it. The 2nd gas is on the way. A couple more Lings going over. But that's basically it. Some good scouting going on. Going to be able to tell what's happening over here. And... huh. You know, honestly, I'm like looking at this, and I feel confused a little bit about the way that this game is going on. I have to be honest, because like everything looks normal for DuGu, but I feel like Skey's build worked better than I thought it would. Like, I mean, as a Terran player, you know, I have to study these builds quite a bit, but it seems like his build was like pretty darn safe, and he's kind of nailed everything he needed to nail. And he's got everything in time, too. Like, this is like, he's ready for that move out with more Marines than normal. I've talked about this in some of the other series, how you generally get 8 Marines and 2 medics if you nail this build to move out within 5 minutes. Now, he's not moving out. He's actually playing very safe, which in this case is not good for him because DuGu has literally nothing to fight with other than this Zergling right now. So he could have walked across the map and forced a couple Sunkens. Instead, DuGu is getting 8 Mutas really, really quickly. So DuGu should actually be very happy with his opener here overall. Now, a couple of missile turrets being made. It is time to get those turrets up to make sure these Mutas can't do too much damage. Of course, the first 6 have popped out. He does have more that are being made that'll rally over there as well. But until you have that 7th, not really worth it to dive on mineral lines. A little bit of harassment against Skey's Marines right there. Just more and more Mutalisks being made. The hatchery at that 3rd base, as well as the +1 Mutalisk flyer attack. So looks like he wants to stay very heavy on the Mutalisk harassment. The +1 attack as opposed to the armor does tell you that they're going to be doing things like diving on turrets, killing SCVs, counterattacking, things like that. You're not looking as much necessarily to fight the Marine army, although sometimes you will. Sometimes you have to. More turrets being made. It is just a 2 barracks play, so he's getting the factory reasonably quickly here as well. Yeah, that group of Mutas is really growing quite a bit. Nice pick off there by DuGu. Medics sticking out. You always want to give that a kill. Medics do take longer to build Marines and cost gas as well. They're kind of a unit you're relying on giving you value over time. So losing your medics is actually kind of a big deal in this matchup. DuGu jumping onto some of these missile turrets. Doesn't have that +1 yet, but just trying to take out some of this anti-air. If he can do that, if he can get rid of the turrets, he can actually start to pick on the Marines a bit more. And anytime you're pressuring production facilities, that's actually the quickest way to kill Terran, is getting units on top of their production. Because Terran units, when they pop out, are like lose to literally everything. They need to be in groups. It's all about critical mass. So DuGu continuing to rally down more Mutalisks to join this flock. Look at this, really relentless. Like, he's got a lot of hurt Mutas, but keeps a group, pretty much a group together the whole time. 1 starport on the way. Not super high in SCVs right now. Definitely some damage has been dealt in that regard. We don't see SCV production from Skey at the moment. It looks like he's just trying his absolute best here to get some missile turrets back up and get into some Valkyries. So comes in. Ooh, denies that turret at 99%. The Mutalisk flock going to fly around. There's only a single turret up here. Luckily, Skey has his Marines ready to go up and challenge these Mutalisks. Seems like he will be able to mostly push these back. DuGu's micro looking pretty strong, to be honest. Lots more Mutas being made. A lot of those do have damage on them, though. And a 3rd gas is coming up. Like, literally, DuGu is not doing anything but making Mutas right now. It's starting to feel a little bit like a Muta all-in. Okay, there we go. The Hydralisk Den and the Queen's Nest, just as I say that. So, does look like he's going to go ahead and, you know, get his tech going into a different direction as well. And some nice moves from DuGu, just picking off these missile turrets. Gets rid of all of them and then flies away. Might be time to just tap in some, or tag in, rather, some higher health Mutalisks. Honestly, this is a great area to continue harassing. It's very hard for the Marines to be down here and defend. And without any turrets, like, anytime you get rid of all the turrets in an area, that area is one that Mutalisks will dominate. Turrets are like a support system for those Marines. Slows everything down as well. But now we have the first Valkyrie out. Second Valkyrie is on the way. Oh, is DuGu going to do something crazy here? Oh my god, he's actually taking a lot of damage. Skey doing a great job with this Valkyrie, putting a ton of damage onto the Mutalisks. A lot of Marines walk out now as well. A beautiful slide right there. Gets a full volley. And another one as well. This is like 4 volleys before he loses it. So not bad. I mean, it's sad to lose it, but the amount of damage he did to the Mutas is pretty significant. Now, DuGu, I think, has to get... Like, we're hitting that point where his Mutas aren't going to work that well anymore. He's made a lot of them. He's actually got more workers than Skey at the moment, but you're really going to need some lurkers for defense at home. The Mutas just can't do it anymore. They're so damaged. Look at this. So highly damaged. They're going to die very, very quickly to the Valkyries as well as the Marines. So as Skey walks across the map, this is a scary moment for DuGu. This can't fight. This can't fight. Look at that. The highest health Mutas are like just over a half health. 2 Valkyries now. Okay, Lurker Eggs are morphing. Nothing really at the third base right now. He's frantically running a couple Hydralisks up. I'm sure he wants to get those Lurkers morphed at that Sunken to try to have some sort of defense. Another nice Valkyrie slide right there. All right, the Lurkers are ready just in the nick of time. Ooh. Not even... Oh, my God! Oh! Dude, Skey, I like it. Like, that's the type of move you see Light do with Valkyries. Light never screws up with Valkyries, but a lot of pros do, honestly. Like, you'll accidentally get hit by Scourge all the time, but he just goes right after him there, knowing exactly what he's capable of. Now, stimming up, going for this base, keeping those Valkyries going. Scourge will turn around and kill this one, but the Mutalisks are mostly dealt with. He scans to take out those Lurkers. Nidus on the way, but too little, too late. DuGu going to lose that third base, and GG, Skey to the winner's match. Well, let's get into our second game here. We have right here in the bottom right, or right side rather, IcaruS and his opponent going to be ArtUser. This is a very quick SCV. What exactly is going on here? This doesn't look like a Terran versus Zerg build. This looks like a forward 11. Oh, he's going to block the hatchery. Okay, sorry. Took me a moment there. This is one of the only maps that you actually ever see this on. This is an incredibly rare move. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know why we almost never see this on other 2-player maps, but we actually see it a fair amount on this map in particular. But that is a very quick engineering bay to block the natural hatchery of Zerg, right? So highly annoying. ArtUser going to send down multiple drones to try to deal with it. Obviously, you're losing some mining time, and your barracks is going to be a lot slower as IcaruS going down to do this. That's going to get picked off pretty quickly. Since you can cancel this, as long as you cancel this, you're gaining value from that many drones coming down, right? You're not losing very much, right? So to cancel that, it's going to cost 32 minerals or something total. Obviously, it slows down some other things as well, but you can see that not only has he blocked that hatchery, he's gone for a command center first of his own after seeing the response there and the fact that there was no spawning pool first. So really nice opener from IcaruS, honestly. Like, I feel like that worked out quite well for him. Anytime you can get away with a command center first, it's very, very strong against Zerg. I mean, obviously, it comes down to the fact that pool first comes out sometimes. Pool first will kill command center first, like, every single time. And maybe on some certain spawns on some certain maps where you can do tight Zergling wall-ins off of, like, 2 buildings or maybe 3. You could live through that and make it work anyways, but that matters the speed of the pool at that point as well. Either way, we have some harassment going on from ArtUser. He's not going to allow this to happen without at least annoying IcaruS a little bit. IcaruS getting a very fast gas here as well. The speed of this gas actually really makes me think this is going to turn into a mech game. Like, it could end up being like a 1-1-1, but honestly, this looks mechish to me. Although we don't see a lot of command center first plays, and obviously, thus, even fewer command center first into mech plays. So, you know, a little bit of guesswork going on right now, but ArtUser gets good scouting with that drone, decent harassment as well. Few are out. One going to be chasing after this very damaged SCV. The other is going to go across the map. And of course, that's going to force the bunker up, as well as some consistent marine production here out of IcaruS. Factory gets started. SCV still alive somehow, not taking any additional damage. Knows the timing of that layer, which is very, very important. Couple Marines in the bunker going to turn those Zerglings around. And look, yeah, he's still mining gas. Now, again, this could turn into a 1-1-1. We'll see if he goes Starport or not. If he goes Starport, then it's very likely a Valkyrie rush. And if he doesn't go starport right, well, he'll make a second factory before this finishes if he's going mech. There are some other things it could be, like the hybrid mech bio build that utilizes one factory Goliaths with bio. That build, not very popular, not very successful either, but it's had a few like highlight games in its career as a build order for Terran vs. Zerg, if that makes sense. Armory coming up. And will it be a starport? No, the second factory. So there you go. It is going to be that mech build. Okay, everything making a lot more sense now. That is what it ended up looking like. An extremely quick armory. eBay coming up as well. Started a single vulture, canceled into add-on. So that might have been like just in case like Lings happen to come. He already has the vulture started, and it's going to be easier to hold. But as is, doesn't want to make that vulture. It's not going to be helpful anyways. We have like this forward sunken and everything. So ArtUser kind of knows what's going on anyways. You know, mech. Oh, wow. That's fast 3 factory. Oh, my God. This is a cool build. Now, here's the thing. Here's why I'm kind of excited about this. Generally, against 2 hatchery play, you can only get 2 factories up before you begin your missile turrets. Right? That's kind of like everything's limited against 2 hatchery mutalisks by when you have to start building turrets so that you don't just die when they fly across the map. So the fact that he went for the command center first obviously gave him a boost in the income, but also he kind of optimized the way he made the factories. He's not trying to get the factory units out super fast. He went factory, armory, factory, and then 3rd factory, right? So it's just, it's kind of interesting to see IcaruS's take here. Now he's got some pretty well spread missile turrets. He's making Goliaths. He has this kind of central defense, and he has a very good amount of Marines in here. Good stuff from IcaruS. Now 7 Mutas coming across the map for ArtUser. Let's see what type of damage he can do. Only 1 turret on this south side here. Gonna just start picking off some SCVs. Oh, flies 1 Muta over all those Goliaths. He's actually going to dive towards that main base. Loses 1 Mutalisk. Oh, misses a shot there. Maybe another shot as well. Yeah, honestly, I feel like he should have killed 2 more Marines, or 2 more SCVs than he did. Still, he got some. He got some, brings him down to 32 workers at the moment. More missile turrets being added, more Goliaths being made. Of course, that +1 about halfway done. Let's take a look over at the base of ArtUser. Lots of drones being made, so he's actually catching up as far as economy goes. We have the hatchery in the top left. That's kind of a little bit of a sneaky one. You'd expect it to be here. I'm trying to think, like, obviously this gives a nicer choke, so, like, maybe there's some sort of Sim City that he wants to do with it. He might just want his bases really far apart as well to abuse the immobility of a mech army. That could make sense. Some more harassment from these Mutas. Loses 1, so only has the 6 remaining. Missile turret going to get finished here. The 3 facts still producing pretty steadily. Very good amount of Goliaths right now. He's going to have to end up killing this bunker or this depot. I would imagine the bunker will be the one to go down, but not necessarily. Sometimes you want to make sure you have that in case of a counterattack. But honestly, with his first move out, I would imagine he wants to bring his Marines. Like, the Marines really help out if you're fighting against Mutalisk stacks like this. So yeah, he kills that off. I would imagine these Marines will come for the journey. The mixture of Marine Goliath is much stronger against Mutalisks than either alone. You know, the Marines have really great DPS, and then the Goliaths have really great range. So very hard to engage with the Mutalisk army. This move out from IcaruS looking extremely strong. Another macro hatchery coming up from ArtUser, also throwing down that creep colony. Making a lot of creep colonies right now. He wants to get a bunch of Sunkens out so that he can just stop these Goliaths from rampaging over him. By the way, we see some burrows happening. This is a pretty common thing against mech. Zergs love to get burrowed Zerglings and spread them around the map so they can just watch your army movement, since you almost never have any detection with your army. You can't really afford going mech and science vessels early on. Whereas, you know, against a regular SK Terran, obviously they're going to get vessels right away. And the burrow upgrade not going to be useful other than to stop a racer at that point. Okay, so 3 Sunkens here, and that's a good choke. So that's a pretty hard one to break. He does have the Marines, so, you know, that changes the math a little bit here. Is he going to go for it? Well, the Sunkens aren't finished. If there is a time to do it, it's now. Mutas are here, so he does decide to turn around. And as those Sunkens finish up, the ArtUser will turn around as well. Doesn't want to lose those Mutalisks when he doesn't have to. All right. Looks like a little turnaround here from IcaruS. He's up to 5 factories now. That's pretty standard for a 2-base mech player. 2 factory siege tanks for a moment. That's not something you see too often. Very oftentimes, well, you know, he's gone up to 5 tanks. That's kind of a lot, honestly. A lot of times these 5 factory mech builds, you're going to go into just 3 tanks for the push, but he goes up to 5. Now, the Mutalisks getting on top of everything here. They kill off quite a bit, even going after that armory for a moment. Some Goliaths have to come back, but IcaruS is counterattacking right now. So right now, the Mutas trying to take out this armory, which would stop anti-air units from being made. So this would be a huge kill. In the meantime, this counterattack is coming up. A lot of Sunkens have been made, and more are ready. He saves the armory, which is incredibly important. The worker count is equal on both sides. Much better economy for ArtUser, but can he hold on against such a push? These 2 tanks, well, they have a sad story. They aren't making it anywhere. You need to have the move out, like all the tanks you're going to have with that move out, or keep them at home to be escorted by Goliaths later on. A ton of Mutas look like they want to go for a counterattack. Honestly, anyone's game right now. But the one big thing is, this army can't really be whittled down. This can be whittled down, okay? So you can kill this kind of over time with more turrets and more Goliaths, whereas the Terran army, you need to kill it all at once. We don't have anything right now that can whittle it. So that is an issue. Like, these Mutas fighting, okay, they're doing some serious damage, but like, are there going to actually be enough here to not only do this damage, but fly home and save his base from this army of doom that's over here? Just looks like a full base trade right now. We might actually get a full base trade. This base might be the last outpost for ArtUser, the way that he's playing it right now. Now, he loses everything at his natural. A lot of Sunkens in the main to slow him down. Don't forget the Spire is in here. So if this base gets killed, you have to remake the Spire up here if you want to continue to make those Mutalisks. The Mutas fly back over. You can see that IcaruS, sorry, is making a lot of missile turrets. He's trying to whittle this down. It's a little bit hard. The Mutas are starting to snowball a little bit. So they're killing off the missile turrets super, super fast. At this point, I think you just give that all up and you say, okay, we're playing one base. Right up here, tons of missile turrets. That Sunken taking out at least 1 Goliath there. Has to burrow a bunch of his drones in here as well. Okay, the Mutas fly to the natural. What is actually going to happen here? Oh my god, he's killing the last of the anti-air. Now, there are 5 Goliaths being made because he did remake the armory. The armory is going to get picked off. Almost no SCVs left. A lot of Sunkens, once again, to slow this down. You know what? He might rush to Lurker here. Let's see if he gets a Lurker upgrade. No, Hydra has speed. Okay, so he just wants some ground units mixed in at this point. Natural Command Center is going to go down. Honestly, I thought for a while here, IcaruS was going to win this, but now I'm switching over. I think ArtUser's got this, man. He is killing off everything that shoots up. So these Mutalisks will kill off the last of the Goliaths. There are a few more that got queued up before the armory died, but that'll be it because there's no more armory. He's trying to make another armory down here, but honestly, he's got no SCVs left. So even that seems to be a little bit of a waste. Okay, the burrow has worked out reasonably well. ArtUser with 5 Sunkens. There are siege tanks, so he can push through that. At this point, you might want to lift your buildings and send them towards your army. This is a true base trade right now. And you have to keep some buildings alive. Here's the thing. People leave StarCraft games. You never see this, but killing all the buildings is actually the win condition. That's why we almost never have a draw, right? You can kill all the buildings, but in a case like this, you want to float your buildings to the Terran army. Because this army, again, it's really hard to engage, but let's try to count. Okay, we have just +1. How many Goliaths do we have? All right, so that's 12, 13 Goliaths, 2 Marines, 3 Siege Tanks. How many Mutas? Oh, you know what? I think he just straight has enough Mutas to beat that. He's got something like 18 Mutalisks, and they have 1-1 upgrades as opposed to just 1-0. So very, very good. Almost no buildings left over. This SCV trying to hide. The add-on does not count. So he's got just these depots in this armory left. No SCV on the map. This is the last SCV. So, like, he can try to hide a building here, but the Lings will probably do a sweep of the main. It looks like everything's going to get eliminated. Now, this Goliath standing out to the side sees the Mutalisks before they come in. He's going to pull that back. Dude, he has got to get in there. Oh, my God, another hatch being made from those burrowed drones. Really smart maneuver there from ArtUser. 31 against 1 as far as the worker count goes. Yeah, we're like literally just going to see an elimination. He doesn't have anything he can really do here. I'd like to see him start something. Oof. The few Lings left over there. Probably isn't sure where the buildings are. He might not have seen this. Okay, he is going to sweep and... Well, the Mutas jump in. And honestly, I think the Mutas just win, but it doesn't matter because that's going to be it. IcaruS is eliminated and ArtUser goes to that winner's match.